Here's just a few things we covered in class. You want to make sure you turn off the cycle, and you want to turn off the snap to grid. So those two little purple things right beside the loop. Your empty podcast should come up with 2 microphone tracks. If for some reason it doesn't, and I did have one student where that happened, you do just like you did in your previous projects. You add a new track, you choose the microphone. The only difference is you want to make sure you click through all the options and choose the podcast microphone. Okay. Now, you've already learned how to do the loops and all of those things, so I am going to skip straight to recording with a collaborator. I have a special guest with me that I have asked to be my collaborator, and she is going to do the first microphone track. So I'm switching to my iPad where my helper is located, and I click the little R on microphone track 1, and I am going to allow it to use my microphone. And I'm just going to give you a sneak peek. Here's who my special guest is. Okay, so we push record, and it's going to count her down, and she's going to do the first little introduction part. So I put my purple cursor just away from what I want because I can move it later.
Hello, welcome to the Mustang Podcast. Our guest is Brenda Harrison. She is going to tell you all about her composer.
So, thank you so much to my guest interviewer. So then, as soon as my collaborator pushes save, over on my computer, I just got a notice that says Music Stew has made changes. So I hit sync, like synchronize, and now everything she said is right there. So now I want to record my part. At this point, I'm not worried about getting it in exactly the right spot. So I'm going to push record for the other microphone track. It's important to have the same person use the same microphone track so you don't wind up in a state of confusion. And I want it to start there. It will count me down.
Composer.
Thank you so much for your invitation to tell these loyal listeners about my composer. Now, as soon as I push save, I'm going to try to get the iPad and the computer in the picture. When I push save, over here, I then got a notice that my collaborator had done something. So I push sync, S-Y-N-C, for synchronize. And you're going to repeat this process for each of your questions. Now, if you are recording with somebody at your house and you're both sitting next to each other, you can delete one of the microphone tracks and do it all on one microphone track. You just want to make sure you put every single question on a little island by itself. And you learned before that if you need to copy something in the loops, you click on it. I am using a mouse and right-clicking. I am pushing copy. And I'm going over here to the side. And I'm right-clicking and pushing paste. And I do that for all of them. But I also have to make them shorter because we're only allowed to have about 3 seconds of music in between. So I went down to that bottom where it said to adjust the ending. And I would do that with all of them. Now, I want to show you one other thing. Did you notice that when I first started talking, there was this dead space and I had to take a breath? Well, of course I have to breathe. So, I'm going to push play. And I'm going to stop right before I start talking. I'm going to right click. And I'm going to say split the region. Then I'm going to let my talking play. Thank you so much for your invitation to tell these loyal listeners about my composer. I stop as soon as the talking is over. I right click with my mouse. I say split the region. Now these two little parts that's just dead air, I can click on them and delete them. I'm going to do the same thing with my interviewer. I'm going to let it start playing. Stop right before the speaking. And I'm going to split the region. I'm going to let her talk.
Hello, welcome to the Mustang Podcast. Our guest is Brenda Harrison. She is going to tell you all about her composer.
And then I stop it as soon as the talking is over. I right click, and you guessed it, split region. Then I take the dead space off of each end. So then I begin to move things so that it's in the right order. Now you see why you want all your little vocal pieces on little islands by themselves. Now, on occasion, your little tiny music things, they're not going to want to move. I don't know why, but they just don't like to. If that happens, I right click and I say cut. And then I click where I want it to go. I right click and I push paste. And in real life, I would have made all of these shorter and moved them there. Then I would record my first question. And I just keep going with this process until I get my entire podcast edited. Now, when I push save, okay, here's what the iPad looks like right now. I push save. I just got notice to push synchronization. And now both screens look exactly alike. You have learned from previous projects that you must push save for it actually to send the project to me. All right. I know you hang on every word I say, but if in case you forgot anything I said during class, hopefully this little video reminded you of everything. Have a good day.